The Audi V8 is a four-door, full-size, luxury sedan, built by Audi in Germany from 1988 to 1993, as the company's flagship model. It was the first car from Audi to use a V8 engine, and also the first Audi to combine a quattro system with an automatic transmission. Early cars used 3.6-litre V8s, while later cars featured a 4.2-litre version of the engine. The Audi V8 was replaced by the Audi A8 in 1994, although the A8 was not sold in North America until 1997. The competition model of the Audi V8 won back-to-back Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft drivers' titles in 1990 and 1991, with the championship winners being Hans-Joachim and Frank Biela respectively. Audi was the first company to win back-to-back DTM titles. Overview: Standard features for the Audi V8 included a 32-valve, double overhead camshaft V8 engine and a 4-speed electronically controlled ZF 4-horsepower 24A automatic transmission providing Audi's quattro permanent four-wheel drive system. A 5-speed manual transmission was also available. The Audi V8 had a galvanized steel body, with a 10-year anti-perforation warranty. The Audi V8 was specifically designed to be a top-of-the-range flagship car and included a number of luxury features as standard equipment, including leather seating and Audi's quattro all-wheel drive system. The Audi V8 created a new elevated image for the company, providing a viable alternative to established competitors such as Mercedes-Benz. In this regard, the car was a cornerstone in developing the history of the Audi marque as it is today. Factory production commenced in October 1988, and ceased in November 1993, although sales of completed vehicles continued in 1994. It was replaced by the Audi A8 in 1994. Body style: the styling of the Audi V8 resembled the Type 44 Audi 100 and 200 models, and was based on a stretched version of the Volkswagen Group C3 automobile platform, known either as the D1 or D11 platform. The Audi V8 differed from the Audi 100/200 with a unique grille attached to the hood, new bumpers and headlights, all-red tail lamps, extended wheelbase, wider track, pronounced fenders, and a completely different interior. Furthermore, only alloy wheels were offered, ranging from 15 to 17 inches. In addition to the standard length model, there was also a long wheelbase version of the V8. It was assembled at Steyr Daimler Puch factory in Graz. This tradition would continue with the A8, offered in A8L format. A once-off experimental Avant version was built for the wife of former Audi CEO Ferdinand Piëch. This car is no longer on display at the Audi Forum Ingolstadt, but in storage in Newcastle. Powertrain detail of the Audi V8 featured one of two all-new, all-aluminium alloy engines, a Euro, both petrol engines, and both in V8 configuration with 32 valves with dual-valve springs, and 4 overhead camshafts. The design set the pattern for future Audi-developed Volkswagen Group V8 engines. In addition to using an all-aluminum alloy cylinder block, the camshafts were driven using a hybrid method. A rubber Kevlar tooth timing belt, driven from the front of the crankshaft, operated only the exhaust camshaft in each bank. The inlet camshafts were then operated via a simplex roller chain from the exhaust camshaft to the right bank, at the rear of the engine, and the left bank at the front of the engine, immediately behind the timing belt. This method reduced the complexity of the timing belt layout, and as a result, required fewer components, such as idler rollers and guides, and lead to easier and less costly maintenance of the timing belt and associated components. The intervals for changing the timing belts varied. The 3.6 V8 required changing every 90,000 kilometers, whereas the 4.2 V8 had a longer interval at 120,000 kilometers. A thermostatically controlled electric cooling fan also became standard, replacing the engine-driven viscous fans on earlier cars. This not only provided forced airflow for the engine coolant radiator, but also for the smaller engine oil cooler. Audi's trademark quattro permanent four-wheel drive system was the only offering for the drivetrain. This normally distributes the engine torque as a default 50-50 between front and rear axles, but can automatically dynamically apportion up to a bias of 20/80 to 80/20 front and rear. The automatic transmission utilizes a hydraulically controlled multi-plate clutch to apportion drive between front and rear axles, whereas the manual transmission variants utilize a Torsen Type 1 torque sensing center differential. The rear axle final drive unit contains a Torsen Type 1 torque sensing differential, instead of the more common hypoid open differential. Engines equals. Both available engines used a Bosch Motronic fully electronic engine control unit, with cylinder bank selective knock control, dual-barrel throttle valve, lambda mixture control via intake air volume metering and exhaust gas temperature sensor, and required unleaded petrol. Fuel was delivered to the combustion chambers via 8 intake manifold-sighted electronic fuel injectors, fed from 2 common fuel rails, and was sequentially fired or activated in accordance with the engine's firing order. Whilst the 3.6 V8 was able to use 95 Romanian lei fuel, for the 4.2 V8, the more expensive 98 Romanian lei Super Plus unleaded was required in order to achieve the quoted power output. The usage of 95 Romanian lei in the 4.2 V8 resulted in a lower power output, as well as increased fuel consumption. At the initial launch of the Audi V8, the only offering was the 3.6-litre power plant, which displaced 3,562 cubic centimeters. This V8 engine was DIN-rated with a maximum motive power output of 184 kilowatts at 5,800 revolutions per minute, and generated a torque turning force of 340 Newton-meters at 4,000 RPMs. In August 1991, Audi introduced a 4.2-litre engine, displacing 4,172 cubic centimeters, to complement the choice of the existing 3.6-litre V8. This shared many components from the 3.6 V8, and the 4.2 unit was identical to the optional V8 used in the Audi S4, sharing the same rated outputs and ABH identification code. Like the 3.6 V8 model, the existing 4-speed automatic gearbox remained available. However, a new 6-speed manual gearbox replaced the 5-speed manual. This powerplant is identified by chrome V8 badges on the front grille and a trunk lid, where in some cars also 4.2 quattro badges present. Details and performance. Transmissions A choice of transmissions were offered. A ZF Friedrichshafen-sourced 4-speed 4-horsepower 24A automatic transmission with a torque converter was available throughout the V8 production run. Automatic transmission has 3 modes, SA Euro Sport, EA Euro Economic and MA Euro Manual operation. Sport mode is changing gears at higher RPM than economic. Manual mode allows driver to choose gears using the lever. There were also 2 manual transmission offerings, a Euro for the 3.6 a 5-speed manual gearbox, or later for the 4.2, a 6-speed manual. Both manual transmission variants used a 240mm single-plate clutch. Details. The details of Audi V8 transmission are shown in the table below. Steering, brakes, wheels. The Audi V8 came equipped with rack and pinion power-assisted steering as standard. An electronically controlled variable-assisted Servotronic version was also available. It was fitted with a high-performance brake system, which included radially ventilated disc brakes front and rear. The fronts were rather unusual, a Euro designed by Continental AG and sized at 310mm in diameter by 25mm thick, but the caliper was mounted inside the disc. The fronts also incorporated electronic brake pad wear sensors. The rears were 269mm by 20mm, and incorporated a cable-operated parking brake. A Bosch anti-lock braking system was also standard. Standard road wheels were 7.5JX15H2 ET35 Aero-style light alloy wheels shod with 215/60ths of 15 steel-belted radial tires. Optional multi-spoke BBS-sourced alloy wheels were also available, in either 8.0JX16, or 8.0JX17 sizes. Features. The Audi V8 came standard with a range of features, including a Bose audio system with 8 speakers, walnut wood trim, leather interior, and heated seats. The only paint finishes available were pearlescent or metallic. Some available colors included pearl white, Largo blue, blue mica, tornado red, black, amongst others. The list below details other standard and optional features. Standard standard features that came with the Audi V8. Optional features that were offered with the Audi V8. Motorsport. Audi developed a Group A competition version of the Audi V8 for entry into the Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft auto racing series equipped with 309 kilowatts, later 340 kilowatts, 3.6 V8 engine and 6-speed manual transmission, and began racing with it in 1990 with Schmidt Motorsport running the operation, and Hans-Joachim Stuck, Walter R. Paragraph HRL and Frank Jelinski driving. In the 1990 DTM season all of the three teams claimed together the entire podium at Hockenheimring race. Stuck won the title, and the following year, Audi added a second team to the mix, Audi's Zentrum Reutlingen. SMS continued with Stuck and Jelinski, while AZR raced with Frank Biela and Hubert Hoped. Biela gave Audi another crown in 1991, but was unable to defend the title in 1992. For the 1992 season, Audi had changed their engines to use a 180-degree flat plane crankshaft, which they said had been reforged and bent from the original 90-degree crossplane part as used in production model. The DTM organizers found this highly modified crankshaft deviated from original homologated standard crankshaft, and therefore deemed it illegal. Audi subsequently withdrew from the championship. During its presence at DTM the Audi V8 competed with much smaller and about 300 kilograms lighter Mercedes 190, BMW M3, and slightly smaller Opel Omega 3000. None of those cars was equipped with a V8 engine or four-wheel drive. References. External links, media related to Audi V8 at Wikimedia Commons, Audi.com, a Euro official corporate website, AudiV8.com fan club site with technical info, North American Consumer Guide review with image gallery, Audi V8 at the Internet Movie Cars database.